So in this grouping, we're going to talk about mechanical valentines. They had movement to them. They started in the 1890s and went up in 1950s, 1960s. You still find a few of them today, but their popularity has declined after the 50s and 60s. We have here two fans that open and close and pivot on this rivet. This one, a loving thought written out underneath the flowers, to my Valentine, okay? And this one has 1700s ladies on it, but it's not made in the 1700s. It will be from the 1890s. And again, each one has its own little motto on it. And the lady that it was sent to could use it as a fan, could display it on the piano or on the mantelpiece, or just keep it as a simple Valentine card. This is another Valentine from the 1890s. This is a comic strip character known as Foxy Grandpa from the comics at the time, and it was it's labeled Foxy Grandpa, and the maker's mark is here on the back. Raphael Tuck and Sons. And you can see the mechanism that actually makes this a mechanical Valentine. Sometimes it's called a jumping jack. And by pulling the string down here, the boys appear from behind Foxy Grandpa's back, and he jumps. These two are probably from about 1900, 1910. They're made by the same company, made by the same designer, operate pretty much the same way. One's a boy, one's a girl, obviously. They were sent to different people. It just so happens that I was able to find them separately as a set. Mechanical, in the sense that the gentleman's eyes move and the lid on the nut lifts to reveal the Valentine message. And the same thing on the mechanics of the young lady. Her arm lifts the lid, same message, and her eyes shift also. This one is from the 20s or 30s. It's a Zeppelin. Made in Germany. That was where lots of the Zeppelins were made and were popularized. The mechanics on this one are that the propellers on the side would move. Of course, there weren't propellers on the sides of Zeppelins like that. The propeller was down here. We have a little note down here, made in Germany. Then we move forward into the 1940s and 1950s with some mechanical Valentines. This one is the inspector for the U.S. Custom House. So Custom House chicken department, and you move his arm and his eyes change, and the Valentine rises there. Same thing with the little dog. I guess hidden in the box. This one is probably from the 1950s. Valentines all over the banjo, and child playing. This would probably be the starting position. The eyes looking one way, and as he plays, the dog appears and howls to the music. We'll see a few more mechanical Valentines as we look at some of the later ones, but generally a long-lasting style of Valentine from the 1890s into the 1960s. One of the big changes in Valentine cards occurred in the late 1890s and were very popular until about 1920, was what's called the penny postcard. It It was just a simple card, and there was space on the back for messages. This one, for example, was sent to Cincinnati, Ohio. Just a Valentine's greeting, very simple. Some of the others, had longer messages on them. A variety of different types. The piece in the center is interesting. This is a chromolithograph piece, same basic time period, made in Germany. You can see this three-dimensional element right here. And it was a pocket that you could put your collection of Valentines into, and then hang it from the mantelpiece. And then you'd have all of them there that you could show, your other friends, the Valentines that you got. This particular card is interesting in the sense that it's a sample card. This is what you could get to show the different types of Valentines. And in this particular case, you could get 25 cents for 25 Valentines. Or if you bought them in bulk, 90 cents for 100 of them. In this section, we're going to look at Valentines that were made from 1890 up to about 1925. A lot of times people look at these and think these are Victorian, and they're actually after the Victorian time period. But these are called fold-downs or fold-ups Valentines. They're created with multi-layers of chromolithograph pieces. Almost always they've been made in Germany and not England. What I've done in this particular display is shown you the different sizes that these could have come in. The smallest ones are something like this, and you have one simple chromolithograph there that has a motto and will fold down. Kind of a next size up is, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers to it. Having been closed for approximately 100 years and only opened up every once in a while, some of them don't like to stand up on display very well anymore. This one's a unique piece in the sense that it's a gilded cardboard and Remember Me, and it's a table, kind of an entryway table that folds open and would stand with pots of flowers and mottos and things on it. This one doesn't fold up or down, but actually opens up this way. We've got a honeycombed piece in there, chromolithographs, and then it'll go all the way around and has a cardboard piece in the back. This one's also dated 1914. And this comes into place and holds it open as an easel. Next size up will be a piece like this one. This one has 3 layers to it. The pieces are slightly bigger. Okay, and then the next size up would be these two. This one is an angel driving a carriage that's full of swans with a little cupid down here and front and back of the wagon. This one in the back is about the same size, just vertical. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers to it and some honeycomb to it. And one of the things that I would like you to notice is the fact that most of these do not have that perforated lace paper like they had in the earlier days. This is a perforated cardboard. It's much heavier, and it's a chromolithograph. This one, next size up, rather large. Lots of things going on, lots of flowers, lots of applied pieces. Almost everything that you see on here is a separate applied piece to this background that is printed as one piece. So the background could be used over and over and changed entirely by what you choose to put in the foreground. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers to it. So it creates a very three-dimensional look. This one's very tall and one of the larger pieces that is a sailboat. Young man, young lady there. The sail itself is made out of tissue paper that's been printed so that light will shine through it. We have honeycomb on it. Let me open up and close this one so you get an idea. Very three-dimensional, but it will close up absolutely flat and would go into a box or into a large envelope and could be mailed. Same thing with this particular piece. Again, you can see all the layers that are inside of it, but it also will fold perfectly flat to go into an envelope or a box to be mailed. So we're going to talk in this section about some of the very large fold-out Valentines. This one is a large ship. It has 1, 2, 3 layers of large honeycomb and another one right here. Then a lot of the chromolithograph, forget-me-nots, and violets back here, sailor over here. This all folds flat. It all mechanically. You can see that we've got lots of dimension across the back because here's the shot of the images, the side, and the back that helps keep this at a slight curvature. The other thing that's interesting is that large Valentine came in this box. Folds flat. It went to Miss May Kopp from Cecil, Ohio, and all they needed to have was Cecil, Ohio on Rural Route 3, and it got to Miss May Kopp. And here's the original mailing stamps for this particular piece. And it was stamped in 1912 was when this particular piece was sent. These fold-down Valentines, again, are large, made in Germany, 1915, 1920s. This one is a house scene. This is the way that it would come in a box or an envelope. And this is the pull-down action that we get. We see the interior of the house, the curtains, and this is very thin paper, so a candle or a light behind it would give a glow. And we have honeycomb up here. Lots and lots of very fine pieces that, unfortunately over the years can get damaged, lost, broken off. We have another house scene. Pillars, flat, urns, young lady, but multiple things happen with this fold down. These doors will open and this roof will open. And on the sides, we have, again, that very thin tissue paper that will allow light to shine through and have the additional kind of a glow to the Valentine. All right, next we're going to look at 2 transportation themed Valentines. Boats, trains, cars, airplanes, zeppelins were all popular motifs, as were wagons and carriages and carts. This one is a sailboat. Again, we see this decorated tissue paper that the light would shine through. Some swans here at the bottom. Made in Germany, probably about 1920. And when you fold it open, it opens like this. The bottom of the boat becomes made out of tissue paper, and it's set on the mantelpiece or dresser or piano, wherever there was space to display your collection of Valentines, and look something like this. This one is an airplane in the style of the Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. We have the mark in here, made in Germany. We have the top honeycomb. We have tissue paper as part of the wings. Passengers on the inside. Young lady is the pilot. Very unusual and delicate piece. And then it will fold up so that it can be mailed in a flat position or stored in a flat position. The next two Valentines in this series are ones that, to me, tell a story. This fold-down Valentine came with the original envelope, and it's addressed to Miss Nellie Angle, 455 East Hunter Street, Logan, Ohio. I live on Hunter Street in Logan, Ohio, just several blocks away from that address. So finding this piece that was mailed out in the early 1920s to Miss Nellie Angle was, I thought, a piece that I really needed to have. So here's the envelope it's mailed in. Here's what it looks like flat. This is how it opens up into a large, beautiful fold-down card. The second one was mailed in a box. This is not technically a fold-down Valentine. This would be one that would hang from the picture rail or on the mantelpiece. It's made of a heavier cardboard, and this is what is called parchment paper that's been decorated. This one was sent to Miss Nellie Clark, number 2 route in Hocking County, again, the county that I live in, Logan. And again, it's always kind of amazing that in those days, an address that we would consider incomplete today still made it to Miss Lucy Clark's home. In this section, I'm going to show you some what I might call novelties of Valentines. Mostly we've been looking at cards and cards that folded down, postcards, things like that. These are, somewhat different. This is an 1860s Valentine, token of love. It's under glass, and you see the gentleman here with a bouquet of flowers, and the lady over here with a heart-covered card of some kind. These are made out of wax, and then the tree or greenery is all fabric flowers in the background. And this type of a Valentine could be left out the entire year. The top on this is a little bit loose, but normally it would have been, fastened into place. Again, German, from about the 1860s. Moving radically forward, we find something from the 1980s or 90s. This is a Madame Alexander Valentine doll that might have been given to a sweetheart or even a young lady. It came with these little heart container that contained a piece of jewelry, Madame Alexander Doll Club. An earlier version of the same idea are these pieces right here. They were made in Germany. They open up on the seam. They could have been used to hold candy. They could have been used to hold a little love note. They could have also been used to hold a proposition ring. And it is likely that that's exactly what this particular one was used for, because it opens up much like a ring box. Be My Valentine. It opens up, and we have another one on the inside. And then it would open up, probably to hold a small ring or engagement ring, a proposal. A popular pastime for Valentine's Day was to have a Valentine's dance. I know when I was in high school, we still did Valentine's dances. This particular piece is a Valentine's dance card. It's homemade. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 11, 12 dances. And young men would sign up for each of the dances. And this must have been a very popular young lady because her dance card is basically filled. Here's the list of the chaperones. Okay. This is 1936. So dated there. And then this last part is the dance cards with all the names of the boys that she was going to dance with. Generally at this time period, if you danced with a boy more than twice, it was considered serious. This piece is an interesting piece, probably from the 40s, maybe from the 50s. It's called Cupid's Thermometer, a Test of Love. It comes in a box. And then you have this glass tube with liquid down here. And then you have by touching it, the heat from your fingers will cause the liquid to rise up the tube. So depending on where it got to, you would have the answer, if you will be my Valentine now, tomorrow, next week. I guess my Valentine is next year because I didn't get very far. So if you won't be my Valentine, is it never, probable? I guess I had no chance. This piece is a paper doll that a young lady could have as a card for Valentine's Day. And it's essentially a clown. Here's the young lady, then this would be the jumper with the hearts on it and their Valentine and the little cap that would fit down over her head. And this one is very similar. This one is probably from the 1950s. You have a lady driving a car. And when you open it up, we find all the clothes for the young lady. And the young lady comes out of the car itself. And so you could dress her with all the clothes that are there available. This is a kaleidoscope Valentine. Several different versions of it were made. The motto at the bottom says, "Spin around and you will see that I love you and you love me." So the idea is to spin this wheel and it will reveal an image behind it. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth. And the image that you see back there as you spin it is a couple kissing. Here's two more novelty style Valentines printed in Germany, or possibly a Raphael tuck from England. It's reasonably simple. They slide the girl's dress and she opens her mouth up really wide into a large heart. This one is a little bit more complex of a young lady. A happy face indeed were mine, if you would be my Valentine. But if my heart you chance to spurn, a sorry face you will turn. So it has a mechanical device here on the back. Right now she's offering the Valentine, and she has a smiling face. But if you turn her head, you get the frowning face, and the Valentine is pulled away and is no longer labeled Be Mine.